Hello, Jason here. I would like to introduce two brand new Instruō modules. On the left here we've got the cnōc, and on the right we've got the cruïnn. I'll show them on camera here. The cnōc is a 4HP function generator, which can also be a looping AR, an ASR envelope, I guess a clock generator. It can also function as a slew limiter over throughput signals, and you can even use it as a form of logic extractor, so you can derive a gate from either a rising voltage or a falling voltage. A very handy little utility module. And what we're actually hearing in this patch is the cruïnn, which is a stereo oscillator, new analog oscillator. It's sawtooth core based, and I'm using phase modulation techniques to derive essentially multiple layers of sawtooths that are split between the left and right channels. Yeah, some very rich sounds that can come from this, and found some very interesting patching techniques to get a wide array of timbres from this, more than just sawtooth waves. Yeah, lots of examples to come in the subsequent videos. What I want to draw some attention to in this video is Crazy Oil Arts, who's my friend Nicola, who's an artist based in Ukraine who does really amazing portraits, oil portraits of music technology, and I've got a growing collection of module portraits, which I'll do a camera fly round to show some of the ones in the workshop here. Please check out his Etsy store, because there's some really cool swag that you can get. So this is the official source of Instruō swag at this time. So a lot of his paintings you can now buy as t-shirts, and they're really cool. And also mugs. There's a good range of stuff on there. So it's a good way to get some cool Instruō swag and also support Nicola and his family, which would be really cool. Yeah, lots of sounds to come in the main deep dive videos in these two new modules. Hope you enjoy. Okay, let's go to dual mono. There's my common mono signal. Mix that with the two band pass. That's one of the tricks I've found to stereo patching, is retaining a degree of common mono content. It means that there's a contrast between the common center phantom image source and the discrete outer channels. I would like to introduce the cnōc, or if you end up with a pair of them, then you've got a cnōc. This is a very versatile multifunction utility module, and there's going to be quite a number of patch examples in this video, so I'll dive right in. So I can go from a more classic static super saw, dynamically variable super saw with using phase variation to make it sound like it's layered sawtooths. Just make that static again, and then bringing up my through 0 FM depth. I get some much more complex wave shaping. In the last edition, the wave folder adds extra splits in there as well. So we've got filter cut off from this first one. There's a bit more of a natural overlap. And now if I patch my end of cycle trigger into first cnōc, the whole quadrature cycle is going to loop. Some interesting shapes, but the whole thing is a cycle. It's a periodic CV loop. What I'm going to do next is set one of the cnōc pair to cycle, and to get an extra degree of control I'm going to take the gate output from my release tail and use that to control my release time of the first cnōc. And we end up with these interesting cycles within cycles. So this is green static on left and red phase shifting on right. So fundamentally this is what the cruïnn's designed to do, but using its own internal LFOs. We'll listen to only the red phase shifting version. As I bring it up in frequency, it's phase modulation because it's shifting the phase in relation to the fundamental. Looks like wavefolding. I'm now using through zero phase modulation of the first phase variant, which is phase shifting the slowest ramp the cruïnn's capable of producing. You can see the DC offset's just pushing up and it's wrapping around. So that's where this wave folding element comes in. We start to get these extra peaks coming through, so it folds a couple of times. I'll use the trigger, the end of cycle trigger output of my clock cnōc, and sample and hold, and patch that to release. There we go, off-timed drunken kick. And then if I want absolute rigidity, then engage hard sync. And in this case on the cnōni, that switch engaged, it's using the edge detection, or the zero crossings from negative to positive of the modulation input, which in this case is the sawtooth. There we go. And if I want to add variation to the timing of all this, all I need to do is add CV modulation to my attack durations. And we're now listening to 3 sawtooth waves from this top channel through the filter. I've got multiple filters in this system, so let's take the other channel and patch that through a second filter. Actually, I've listened to this in stereo. I'll use the bipolar output and I'll use that to control my cutoff frequency because my primary cutoff control is essentially a bias starting point. Then I can use this envelope through the FM input. So this envelope controlling both VCA and low pass filter. We're very much in low pass gate type territories, and the exponential curve is very snappy, so it's quite reminiscent of a classic Vactrol low pass gate, but a bit more control via CV in this instance. Fundamentally, the cruïnn is a sawtooth wave, a single sawtooth wave core, but to create the stereo output and the super sawing phasing effect, I've essentially cloned the sawtooth wave 5 times. So this top output is the non-phased version. That's clocking the scope, and then we've got 5 phase variants of the fundamental sawtooth. So if we view this one on the red channel, we'll see that phase shifting in relation to the fundamental green. So each of these phase variants, they've got the ability to shift up to 720 degrees of phase. So the default being 360 forward, which is 0 point, so it means that we can pull it back 360 degrees or push it forward 360 degrees.